biashara zetu zinaharibika.
Labda tueleze unafanya biashara ipi na imeathirika kivipi?
Ile kitu iko tunasema maandamano sio mbaya. Sawa sawa. The constitution allows citizens to demonstrate. But there is nowhere the constitution says demonstrate as you destroy people's sources of livelihoods. That one X. Hata kwa Gen Z katiba yenye bado hatuna, hiyo hawataiweka mahali. Sawa sawa. We cannot have hoodlums, hooligans coming to town, destroying people's businesses and sources of livelihoods, burning shops. These shops are closed because of fear. Not fear of demonstrations, but fear of hooligans joining the demonstrations and causing havoc. Sawa sawa. And this is what we are saying. Mimi kama mzazi, I'm a Gen Z parent. Sawa sawa. My firstborn son, second and third, wote wako category ya Gen Z. But I'm telling you, irritated as I am, okay? I do a business of fumigation and cleaning. Saizi hata client nikipigia simu anasema huwezi kuja.
Oh my God!
I may not be your best, and I don't claim to be, but I'm the one you have.
So by now, we all know that the peaceful demonstrations have been tampered with. And now the Gen Z protesters have been turned into Gunzi protesters. The Gen Z were peaceful, the Gen Z had a motive, the Gen Z had placards. The Gunzi are moving with weapons, the Gunzi are looting, the Gunzi are just rogue, the Gunzi are throwing stones to the police. So it's no longer peaceful. And this has made me ask a lot of questions. What happened between the Gen Z and what made it transform from Gen Z to Gunzi? And most likely, there is some political interference. So I asked myself, hypothetically, if I was a leader and a very influential leader, and I was being opposed by the Gen Z, what do I do to destabilize them and to make the other generations hate the Gen Z? So how do you make people hate the Gen Z, and how do you make people hate Maandamano? How do you make people hate protests? There are three major ways of how you do it. You do it in 3 stages. Step 1, you pay goons, and you pay them well, maybe from 3,000 to 10,000 each. And you instruct them that they should mix with the Gen Z and they should tactically harass and steal and hit. For those goons to overpower them is very easy. And for most of those goons, you hire the millennials and the rogue Gen Zs. So you pay them well and you ensure that they go and intermingle with the Gen Zs. And you ensure that you instruct them to go and steal from the Gen Zs. So the Gen Zs, after some time, most of them won't be showing up. Because if you go to an event and maybe there were 1,000 people, and these your paid goons steal from 100 people, you must be sure that in the next protest, more than 200 of the Gen Zs who will have heard of the stealing and the robbing, they won't show up. So that's the first perfect step. You pay your goons to go and steal from the peaceful protesters. That's the first step. And already that has happened in the recent protest. Because as you're going with the placards, the goons can identify you easily because of your dressing code, because of how you're moving, because of whatever you're saying. If you are articulate, you are peaceful, they just know that this guy is not one of us. So we go and rob him. It's a perfect way. So that has already occurred, and most of the Gen Zs are now fearful. They no longer want to go to the streets to protest. That's why there are less of the placards and more of stones and basically the goons. So step 2, you pay the goonsies. You pay them well and you instruct them to go and loot businesses. You instruct them to go and loot supermarkets. You instruct them to go and fill the road with stones. You just ensure that they are rogue enough. But at the same time, you instruct the police not to use brutal force. You instruct the police to be reluctant in their turnaround time. So as they're looting, I think this has already happened. The Quiver Lounge was looted, the police showed up very late. As a Quick Mart was looted, the police showed up very late. So you ensure that the police show up very late to the occasion so that the citizens can feel the impact of the Gen Zs. That's the strategy. So you send your people and you give them enough cash, pay them maybe 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Tell them that go and loot this area, go and loot this area, go and loot this area. I'll protect you from the police. So there's this period from maybe 9 to 10, you loot businesses in this region, you loot them enough. That's a perfect move because that will make the businessmen who are the millennials and Gen X hate the Gen Z because the protests are linked with Gen Zs. And the idea is you want the Gen Zs to be really hated by the millennials and the Gen X and even the Gen Zs themselves. So these goons will do a perfect job when they go and loot. Because as they loot, you ensure that the media is also capturing what these goons are doing. And you must, if for the goon ship to work perfectly, you must pay a very huge number. Maybe you pay even 100 people. So you might spend maybe more than even 1 million. That's a very perfect tactic for you to make an entire population hate the Gen Zs. And they're using it. That's like if you're a propagandist and you're how some of these people you have in leadership, they're very clever and they are very conniving. So they'll do anything to push an agenda. And the agenda currently they have is that they want the entire population, they want the entire nation to hate. First, they want the entire nation to hate protests. Then they want the entire nation to hate Gen Zs. So the second step is very necessary. So as we go to the third and last step, is that after the Gen Zs have looted businesses, after the Gen Zs have robbed people, after the Gen Zs have destroyed property, after the Gen Zs have burned cars, issue a staunch warning that nobody should be on the street. And if only the street will be giving you headshot, using live bullets, we have to use brutal force to destroy this anarchy. And the country will agree because the Gen X are tired of the Gen Z. The millennials who own businesses are tired of the Gen Z. And even the Gen Z themselves who own businesses or who have side hustles, they are tired of the protests. So you make the protest extremely toxic to a level that everyone now hates them. And everyone in unison, they agree that this should stop, there should no longer be protests. So tomorrow, many people might lose their lives because you've been given warning by MPs, by the CS of by Kindiki, like many people are giving you warning. So kindly, if you're a peaceful protester, don't show up because the goons won't be showing up. Tomorrow they won't be paid to come and cause chaos. So maybe the one will show up and you'll get a headshot because what are you fighting for at this moment? The goons have diverted their attention, so the movement has lost its purpose. So what are you going to protest? Unaenda kuandamana nini? You'll die for no reason. For no reason. Because it's almost like a strategy and it has worked successfully. Now, even me personally, I hate the protests. I've seen what it has done to businesses. I've seen what it has done to individuals. Those goons are taking advantage and they've been paid well. So we should take a break, re-strategize, identify ourselves so that we can identify ourselves from the goons by how we move, by how we talk, by what we say. Because unless we disassociate with the goons will tarnish the good deeds we've done for the Gen Z movement forever. And they're paid well. They're paid well. And apparently most of them are the millennials, sadly. People above 30 to 35. They're being paid well and the goonship they have, they'll do anything for the dollar. So they're being paid well and they're being protected from the police. Because this is the reason behind it. When the protests were the most peaceful, they were the most chaotic. The police were continuously killing citizens. But now, when the protests, like in the recent or the Tuesday one, when the protests were at their worst, they were the least. There was least. The number of police brutality had reduced drastically. So this goes to show you that there's a strategy they're putting. They want the entire population to really hate the changes, to really hate the protests. And if you continue with this, we'll lose the meaning to all this. And I think when this thing started, it was almost like a good thing not to have a leader. But now, it's almost like a bad thing that we don't have a leader. So there isn't that guy that can say that this shit must stop. This stuff has to, we must stop and strategize. Even if there isn't people say, people like Kaira have tried to say it, people like Winfest Mange have tried to say it, people like Hanifa tried to say it. But now if they say it, other people fight them. Because we have to stop and re-strategize. Otherwise, the millennials will take this thing and run with it. They'll take it and run with it. Because they are very good millennials who are supporting us. They are very good Gen X who are supporting us. They are very good boomers who are supporting us. But they're supporting the honest one, not this conmanship. And this conmanship is well funded. And the idea has worked and they have won. Now, everyone now hates Maandamano, including me and you. Any reasonable person hates Maandamano. So tomorrow, kindly, please don't show up. Please don't show up if you're the reasonable one. Just let the raw goons show up. Because even with the goonship, there are those who are paid and there are those who are unpaid. Because some people just join the paid goons because they're doing something. Because they'll break the door of a supermarket. The paid ones, they'll break the door. Then the unpaid ones, they just rush in. So it's just a mixture of paid thieves and unpaid thieves. So the paid thieves pave way for the unpaid thieves. So tomorrow, if you're not one of them, if you're not ready, or if you're not born to steal, don't show up to the Maandamano. There is nothing fruitful to it. We have a better fight online than on the street. The BBC have heard about what Ruto has done. The CNNs have heard about what Ruto has done. The entire world has heard about what they have done. So let's not tarnish the good deeds. The entire African countries are learning from what we've done. So let's not tarnish that. Let's re-strategize and come up with a better plan. That's my take. Peace out.